Good morning, guys. Hope you're staying warm. It's Sheila and Fred with Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures and FS Investigates. And today we're going to be talking about
police brutality at its worst. Guys, on my other channel, where I'm posting so much of this, I think I found a new calling. Spent 40 years in law enforcement, and I've had experiences. I've had some just like some of these, more or less. But this is just the things that's going on these days, and that we're seeing on video and catching police officers and
it's awful.
Not being truthful. And if that's who's policing us, then anyway, Sheila's going to show a video, and we'll pick up on the other side of it. May find it interesting, guys.
Just a warning, this video is disturbing. I found it very disturbing.
Good evening, I'm Megan Mannering. Larry has the night off. A Boyle County dementia patient faces several charges, including shoplifting and public intoxication, stemming from an incident at a Walmart from back in October. But his attorney claims his client was confused, and after seeing the surveillance video, he's now calling for the arresting officer to be charged. LEX 18's Kaylee Randall sat down with the man's defense attorney for an exclusive look at the footage in this LEX 18 investigates, and we want to warn you, some of you may find the video graphic and disturbing.
So here he comes.
And he's in the gray zip-up.
Yes, this is John Hardwick.
On Tuesday, October 15th, 66-year-old John Hardwick and his wife went to Walmart in Danville for a quick shopping trip. But watch what happens about 15 or so minutes after he tried to buy beer, not realizing he didn't have his ID. He followed the cashier to customer service, where police showed up. I sat down with Hardwick's attorney, who explained Hardwick has dementia and was confused by the situation.
And at this point, does he understand what's happening?
Not really. I mean, according to his wife, he sees the beer, and you'll see him retrieve the beer here, and he very politely, nicely.
Ephraim Helton says the video shows while speaking to a Walmart loss prevention employee, Hardwick places the beer in his cart and then places it back on the table several times. Again, Helton explains not understanding what's going on.
There's no effort to leave Walmart. There's no effort to run with this. And he's following all of the directions of loss prevention. He's not throwing his arms up in the air. He's not causing a scene.
As you can see, an officer reaches for his handcuffs to try to arrest Hardwick, but that's when things escalate.
He doesn't understand what's going on. Slam his face into the register. Attempt at a chokehold. Throw him to the ground. Watch while he's down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
According to a citation, officers were flagged down by Walmart staff for Hardwick being under the influence and trying to steal beer, while having the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from him. The citation also reads, Hardwick grabbed 2 cases of beer and then tried to leave the store.
You've seen this. There's no stealing of beer. He's not under the influence.
The citation also states Officer Godby attempted to place his hand behind his back. Above refused and tensed up, having to be assisted to the prone position.
That's not being assisted to a prone position. That's being thrown to a concrete floor at 66 years of age. And then he was struck 6 times.
After being arrested, Helton says Danville jail staff refused to admit Hardwick because they claimed he was in a clear delusional state, so he was sent to a local hospital. We reached out for a comment from the Danville Police Department, but have not heard back.
Patient has history of dementia and appears to be confused. The same officer that wrote that he was under the influence of alcohol tells the admissions people and the nursing staff that he's confused.
Hardwick faces several charges, including alcohol intoxication, shoplifting, and resisting arrest. For now, Helton is trying to pursue charges against one of the officers, who he believes used excessive force on the 66-year-old.
I think it's appalling that you have a 66-year-old man face down on the ground and you are striking him 6 times. He's defenseless. His hands were behind his back. He's handcuffed. It is totally unnecessary. That is police brutality.
In Boyle County, Kaylee Randall, LEX 18 News.
Okay.
Guys, hang with us. Hang with us.
This is awful.
The victim's name is John Hardwick.
Mm-hmm.
The young officer there,
The one that tried to get him in
the
the
one that's guilty of assault,
chokehold.
is T.J. Godby, dementia patient. I'm going to tell you something. Sheila and I know a little something about dementia. For the last 5 years of my mother's life, we took care of her. There's a book Sheila and I wrote about her, about living with dementia.
Mm-hmm.
Not just my mother, but anybody, to try to be of a help to other people. Because what we learn a lot of on our own from dealing
Trial
with
and error.
Trial and error.
And
Thank
we
you, babe.
learned as we went with Mommy Toy on each situation.
Dementia is a terrible, and I've talked about it. I used to say that when she had dementia, I thought, well, that's great. She don't have cancer. She don't have this or that. She's not going to be in any. The worst disease in the world is losing your mind, not knowing who your children are, not knowing who you are. 86 years old and thinking you're 17 and you're late for school, thinking you've got a test at school and you're all stressed out, up all night.
She would have different episodes from each time when she'd lay down and take a nap and wake back up. After one nap, she was 16. After another nap, she was a little bit older. It just depends.
So we know all about dementia now. And we know all about Boyle County. Mother was released from the hospital one time and told them we need to stay over with her. Sheila or I won. They wouldn't allow it. Nobody to stay. And went in the next morning and horrible sight. And 2 nurses right directly across the hall from her, just laughing, carrying on. And just sad. This is elderly people. This is people that we're going to be that way someday. And these people in the hospital, the ambulance brought her home one night, cold winter night, January, and freezing cold outside, 10 degrees, and they backed up to the garage. Well, we had security cameras around our house where we lived in, and they get Mom out and bring her in, and she's froze to death. She's just shaking. Both the ambulance people were up in the front of the ambulance where the heat was.
She didn't have a blanket on her.
Had no heat, had no blanket. And I asked them when they brought her in, I said, she don't even have a blanket on her. They said it fell off in the ambulance when we got her out. Well, when they backed in, I had a camera right there on my garage looking at the driveway.
Right.
We reviewed the tape. There's no, they had my mother back there, not even as much as a blanket, dead winter. And I got very upset, but then I thought, why do I want to raise Cain? But someday, I'm sure those 2 women that brought my mother home, you reap what you sow. So someday their children, their mother, somebody in their family, it'll come back to them.
And Mommy Toy couldn't pull the blanket off because she had like little boxing glove things on her hands. So
Let's get back to the story at hand.
Okay.
Shoplifting, public intoxication. Ephraim Hilton. That attorney right there is Ephraim Hilton. One of the best. I've got probably 5 to 10 favorite attorneys that I've met in 40-year career in police department, police work, and that's one of them. He's a great attorney. 66-year-old elderly man. You're going to see later on, you're going to hear us talk about it several times, but this was nothing more than elderly abuse.
Yeah.
Elderly abuse. I have a feeling when this is all over with, instead of him attempting to buy Bud Light, he'll be able to buy him some Heineken after this case is settled. This is outrageous. I'd like to be on the jury one day. A lot of these people, when you see cases like this, a lot of these people, they plead these cases out. they settle with these insurance companies. When you have cases like this, people, take them to trial. The majority of the people out there is going to be like Fred and Sheila and the people that watches our videos.
Okay.
You'd be better off to take these cases. Don't think that you're going to get shortchanged, because all we see when we see people like this is our mothers and fathers and bankruptcy. Bankrupt the insurance company.
Especially with dementia.
You know, dementia and autism. Autism is the same way. We've got a nephew that's got autism. He's 6 foot something, big old, 13, 15 years old, and looks like a grown man. Good looking fella.
Off.
You can't tell nothing by looking at him that what his mindset is. And if a police officer, and I see them on YouTube all the time where they beat these kids with autism up, they do this and that because they don't know. And I told my sister, I said, they need to get him a bracelet. They need to make sure he's identified. So people, but they don't take time to look for identity on things like that. They just commence anymore. This little officer here, a little man syndrome, he can't wait to get a hold of this fella. He can't wait to get a headlock, a full Nelson, a chokehold. He's going for anything he can, but he don't know what to do. He's had no training because he's just all over the place. 3 officers on an elderly man. You know, Sheila, I'll let you get a word in a minute.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
But that reminds me of that comedian, Ron White. He didn't know, said that 10 officers showed up to arrest him one time, and he said, I didn't know how many of them it was going to take to arrest me, but I knew how many they were going to use, meaning all 10.
Yeah.
And that goes to show in this video, there was 3 officers there on an elderly man. All 3 of them had to get their hands in on it.
Not cool.
Why such a rush? Why when we tell people they're under arrest, do we have to do it now? I saw a video the other night where this guy's a veteran, two tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, having an argument with his girlfriend or his wife, tells her they can leave. They wouldn't have it no other way than to stay there until he went for a gun, or they said he went for a gun, and they shot and killed this veteran. We're in that big a hurry, and our time is so important that we can't say, sit down, let's talk about this.
Try to de-escalate it.
De-escalate it. They were in such a hurry that they had to take a hold of this man. I said, move and move now. It's called contempt of cop. It's called contempt of cop. When a cop tells you to do, I was a police officer for 40 years.
Yeah.
But when a cop tells you to do something, you fail to do it. It's contempt of cop. I said, do it and do it now. The Commissioner of State Police, don't point your finger at me. Look at my channel. Go to Fred McCoy 40 and look at some of the videos up. Because a man pointed his finger at the state police commissioner and said, you're going to quit harassing me. Just don't point your finger at me. Grabs them and puts them under arrest. Contempt of cop. You're going down, and I mean now. You're under arrest, and you're going down because we can, and we want a confrontation.
Wow.
We want to fight. Makes the job more exciting. Look at cops. Look at the views that the movie Cops used to get. Top Cops and all these police shows. See, that's what the new generation grew up on. Cops, Top Cops, all these. I grew up on Adam 12. I grew up on Dragnet. I grew up on Chips. You ever see Dragnet? You ever see Hawaii 5-0? You ever see Chips pull their guns and especially shoot? Shots fired, shots fired. Go ahead, babe. Don't let me interrupt your.
No. He was thrown to the ground on a concrete floor by 3 grown men. 3 men.
You know, there's an old saying, and the older you get, the more you can relate to it. If you get in a fight as an old man, you're a winner either way.
Okay.
Because if you get whooped, they beat up an old man.
That doesn't look good. Yeah.
And if you whoop them or him, you just got beat up by an old man. You either beat up an old man or you got whooped. by an old man. So old man wins either way.
Yep.
Took 3 of them to take that old man to the ground. One cop punching. I'm sorry. One cop was assaulting the old man, hitting him at least 6 times in the head and face.
That you could count on the camera, yeah.
Assault. Pure and simple. And if the county attorney doesn't charge that officer with 4th degree assault, there was no reason, absolutely no reason, to punch that man once he was restrained, hands behind his back, handcuffed.
Yep. He should lose his job.
And if the chief doesn't fire him, Danville Police Department, Boyle County Attorney's Office, who's in charge of this, the Boyle County Attorney's Office in Kentucky. I don't know who the county attorney is there, but you would ask for the county attorney. And the chief of police of the Danville Police Department. I don't know who the chief is there anymore. Retired.
Yeah.
But there's somebody that's in charge, and he works for that chief.
Right.
And if that's the kind of officer that chief is going to keep employing on the Danville Police Department, then this is the kind of conduct you're going to keep seeing. And you can Google the Boyle County or the Danville Police Department over the years. When I was a police officer, I remember them coming up in the news, and you'll see stories. And when you see stories, guys, law enforcement has a pattern. A person's past or a department's past often predicts their future. And when you see this conduct over and over and over, then it's a routine, and somebody's accepting it.
Exactly.
And the buck stops with the chief. He's in charge. That's his men. That's why when you see these lawsuits filed, especially civil rights violations, 1983 suits, you always see the sheriff or the chief, even if they're not there. That's his men. He's in charge of that guy. And if he continues to keep this guy employed after this, then he's condoning his actions. On my videos, on my channel, Fred McCoy 40, 1 strike, you're out. Pure and simple. Law enforcement across the board, federal, state, county, city, across the board. When you have a video, a clear-cut video, posted a video this morning of that woman trooper jumping all over a violator, traffic violation, and it's like a cat fight. Assault, just insult to her, contempt of cop. Don't question me. 1 strike and they should be out when it's proven like this with a video.
When you hit someone and they're in handcuffs,
Yeah.
they should be released. Released.
Sheila, they frown on that. That's one thing that when you're handcuffed, there's an old saying: when the cuffs go on, the hands come off.
That's a
When
good
the
saying.
cuffs go on, the hands come off. There's absolutely no reason to kick. You're going to see a video coming up where Kentucky State Trooper kicks a guy in handcuffs, kicks him up against the wall while he's in the jail.
Yeah.
People continually striking. Those are civil rights. Those are contact the, I want to say the federal agency, the FBI are hopefully everybody can get back. I feel you, babe. And I don't want to insult nobody. I used to think the FBI and the state police could walk on water. I'm so disappointed because I thought they was the superior of all law enforcement. And they've lost credibility. But the FBI at one time, when an officer would handcuff somebody and then beat on them, that was they was charged. That's why sometimes officers like myself in the latter years, I just put them to the car, walk to the car. Sometimes it's harder to put a person in handcuffs than it is just say, hey, get in the car, you're under arrest. And something about those handcuffs, especially if they're claustrophobic or on drugs.
Yeah.
Once they get in the cage, once they get in the car, they're not getting to you if you've got a secure cage.
Right.
You get them to the Sally Port, then you can call for reinforcement from the jail to come out. Threat was over. The man was on the ground, handcuffed behind his back. They say he's under the influence. under influence.
Did they give him a test, breathalyzer or anything like
We're
that?
going to get to that. That's a good question. And I'm sure you're not the first one to ask that.
That's,
Did they just put dementia and buying the beer together and say he must be drunk? Did they not realize that he had mental issues, dementia? But they saw him with 2 cases of beer and they say, whoa, must be intoxicated for him to be acting like this, acting strange. You can see in the video he's not disorderly.
no, he was very calm and he tried to do, he was confused.
Done everything
you
they
can see
asked him.
that. You can, so that's totally different from being intoxicated. I feel sorry for this little man. Shoplifting. Never attempted to steal the beer. That's what I was going to ask you. Shoplifting, you have to leave the store with it, correct?
Yeah, you have to make an effort. They have to know that you're wanting to steal it. You had no intentions of
Coming back here to that, which I can't see where I pointed, but coming back there to where they're
That's service
arresting him at. Okay.
Yeah, that's back there at the service department.
That's not stealing.
Where in this video did we see, or did you guys see him ever try to leave that store or shoplift with the beer? See, that was on the police report. Now, if there wasn't videos of all this, that's all you've got to go by, is that police officer's word against his. And we wonder why citizens are losing faith in police, federal, state, county, and city. We wonder why. Report says he tried to leave the store with 2 cases of beer.
I didn't see that. Did you see that?
Where's that on the video?
I didn't see it at all.
That's the one. That's the video we need to see. Where is it? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is it. It was all...
He was at
What?
a checkout and
What,
then
he
he
from
left
Hilton
there and
had
come
that.
back here.
Tried to check it out with the buggy, didn't have his ID, put it back in, went to the service department. Officers couldn't wait to go hands-on. We are tough guys and want to show it every chance we get. Big audience there. Look at all those people in the background.
Sitting there
Took
and
3 of
watching.
them. I ain't nothing to brag about. It took 3 of them to slam them to the ground.
Sad.
Nothing more than elderly abuse of a person with mental incapacities. Sheila, the jail wouldn't accept them.
I heard that. So that tells you something right there. If they're not going to accept this gentleman in there and that there was something wrong with him, he was very confused
Yeah.
and disoriented.
Yeah.
That tells you right there.
The jail could tell something was wrong, but the cops couldn't. He was
But
sent to the hospital.
when he went to the hospital, the cop said he was confused.
There it is. Cops told the hospital that he had dementia and was confused. I'm going to read you something in a minute on the law. After arresting and beating, used to say another word, but tarnation or crap out of him. Now they say he's dementia and confused. Alcohol intoxication they charged him with. AI. There's Sheila's question.
Yeah.
Was a breath test taken? Was blood taken at the hospital? Did they merely see him buying alcohol and just say, well, we'll just put down here, we know he drinks because he's buying alcohol. You know, there's people with dementia that buys things that they never use. We've seen mother put things in the buggy that you would think, what's this for? And you'd ask her, I didn't put that there.
Yeah.
They don't.
That's yours, not mine.
They don't know. Yeah. That's, AI and disorderly are a lot alike in law enforcement. When you're dealing with contempt of cop, those two have a lot in common. AI. Person's had a beer, you smell a beer on their breath. They've had one beer. Now you're a threat. You're a threat to yourself or somebody else. I'm going to have to take you in. Or disorderly. Disorderly's contempt of cop. And it's all in the officer's opinion. The officer says, oh, he was disorderly. He was doing this or that. He was intoxicated.
He wasn't disorderly in that video. The man complied with everything they said, told him what to do. He wasn't irate or nothing. He was very calm. Well, actually, he was confused, but...
AI can arrest with no test, no alcohol test, no PBT, portable breath test, no
Okay.
nothing. It's just the officer's opinion. I think you're intoxicated. I'm going to take you to jail for 8 hours. But yet in a DUI, you have to be tested. You're allowed. If you're ever arrested for AI, tell the officer that you want a breath test. Tell them you want a blood test to prove that you've not drank that much or you're not intoxicated.
Okay.
It's not warranted. State of Kentucky, at least, we don't give that. We can arrest you for AI, take you to jail, lock you up for nothing more than our opinion that you're intoxicated. Now, let's look at something here. Criminal trespass. They charge this gentleman with criminal trespass. Now, you can't charge him with criminal trespass first degree. First degree is for a dwelling. You have to be trespassing in a dwelling, a residence. But let's look at third degree. 511-080, criminal trespass in third degree. A person is guilty of criminal trespass in the third degree when he, what's that word, babe?
Knowingly
Knowingly
enters or remains unlawfully in or upon premises.
premises. That's just a parking lot, your yard. That's anywhere. You're on somebody's property and they don't want you there. But the magic word there is, see, there's 4 things in Kentucky: knowingly, intentionally, wantonly, and recklessly. That is the 4 classifications, if I'm not mistaken. But knowingly, this man, let's go to criminal trespass second. I don't know what they charged him with, but I would say it was the second.
Okay.
070, which is criminal trespass in the second degree. Go ahead, babe.
A person is guilty of criminal trespassing in the second degree when he or she knowingly enters.
What? When they what?
Knowingly.
Knowingly. Go ahead.
Enters or remains unlawfully in a building or upon premises as to which notice assist against trespassing is given by fencing or other. Okay, no.
Unlawfully in a building or upon premises. Don't worry about the fence and all that. He's in a building. He's in a Walmart building.
Okay, that building is public.
Well, they can ask you to leave, babe.
Did they ask him to
A
leave?
person can trespass you and they can say, we want you to leave. But now listen, we've got to go back to knowingly.
I know, but again, did they ask him to leave?
I'm sure they probably did. And if they didn't, they're going to say they did.
Okay.
You've got 3 cops there, so they're going to say whatever the other one says.
Okay.
We don't know that. Unless they've got body cams on.
That's what we need to see.
Yeah, that'd be something to see, television news. The body cam. Knowingly. How can this man with dementia knowingly understand that he's been trespassed from here? How can he? You're going to see it again. Let's keep on going. Must understand and knowingly. Now, the cops done said, he told the hospital that he had dementia and he was confused.
The cop said that.
Yep. Charged him with intoxicated, dementia, and confused. That's the 3 things that the cops charged him with: being intoxicated. Mm-hmm. Now he tells the hospital that he's got dementia and he's confused. Which one of those 3 or all didn't he know? How can he justify that this man knowingly knew he was doing anything wrong? I don't think he did anything wrong, but remember, he told the hospital the subject was confused. Mm-hmm. T-Butt, theft by unlawful taking here in Kentucky. 514-030. Comes under shoplifting. Like Sheila said a while ago.
Yeah. He didn't attempt to leave. What we seen was he was checking it out, didn't have his ID, so he come back to customer service. That's not shoplifting.
We didn't see it on the video. We didn't see shoplifting on that video. Mm-mm. We saw it wrote on that officer's citation where he said he took him to the ground, lowered him to the ground, or what did it say?
Assisted.
Assisted him by face slamming him into the concrete floor. Appears to be a straight out lie. Shoplifting appears to us by the video that we saw, that's a lie. We never seen him try to leave the store with beer. Mm-mm. You know, this is a joke, but you could tell that he's probably not thinking correctly. The man's trying to buy of all the beer back there. He's trying to buy Bud Light. Who buys Bud Light anymore? So, probably not a good joke, and she's kneeing me right now, but or did we miss something? Appears to be straight out lie, or did we miss something? You saw the same video we did.
Yeah.
Resisting arrest. Charged him with resisting arrest. First, has to understand he's been arrested. 520.090, Kentucky KRS, Kentucky Revised Statute, resisting arrest. Paragraph 1, a person is guilty of resisting arrest when he intentionally prevents or attempts to prevent a peace officer recognized to be acting under color of his official authority from effecting an arrest on the actor or another by A, using or threatening to use physical force or violence against a police officer or another, or B, by using other means creating a substantial risk of causing injury to the police officer. Hell, only way they could injure themselves is to fall and hurt themselves while there are three of them trying to wrestle an elderly man. Guys, this man never punched.
Nope. Never raised his voice. He never kicked. Never attempted to flee or to run out of the building. But yet he was.
Yeah, he did. You ain't gonna say that part. But he did take what we call up in the mountains a butt whooping. He took a butt whooping.
Yeah.
They whooped him. It took three of them to do it, and he didn't even resist. It's like the Keystone Cops fighting with each other because they're all over the place there. And I have a feeling if they would have stood back and said, "Hey, listen, here's what's going to happen here. We've got a complaint." I don't think they had a complaint. I think the complaint is the guy there in the front with the glasses, the little small guy. I think that's the complaint. And but they could have told him, "We're going to take you into custody. We're going to escort you out here. You're under arrest," and try to explain things instead of just saying, "You're under arrest." Okay, grab them, guys.
Yeah.
Criminal conduct. Now the attorney, and Ephraim Hilton is one of the best. He's wanting an officer charged with criminal conduct, unbecoming, 4th degree assault, which is for punching, basic
6 times, yeah.
Basic, just punching, physical contact with somebody, no weapons, just
Where he was in handcuffs.
a misconduct. This case here, this arrest is ridiculous, scandalous, and it's elder abuse. This boy should be charged with elder abuse. That 1983 civil rights violation, handcuffed and hitting them, that's assault.
He should be relieved of his duties.
Cuffs on, hands off. That's the old saying. Or that was my policy. Oh, that was my policy.
Okay.
If I did handcuff somebody, now, they could fight all day. Now, listen, I never said I didn't. There's people out there that fights. There's people out there you have no choice but to fight with. There's just some people that, especially up in the mountains, that's how they save face. They'll tell their family, "They took me to jail, but it took 4 of them." I mean, that's just something, that's a mountain mentality, and I guess it's everywhere. It may be in the city, it may be, I don't see it as much in where I was at here in Lincoln County as I did up in the mountains in Pike County. Up in the mountains of Pike County, these guys will fight. These are mountain boys. That's why I always get mad on the Hatfields and McCoys when people from McCoy and Bo McCoy out in Georgia and North Carolina said they had to come in and follow suit against a man because nobody would stand up. That's not, there's mountain guys won't stand up. That's not correct. This case is sad. I'll use Sheila's. I always get on to Sheila. I said,
It's my Lanta case.
Yeah.
It really is.
this man's got some issues. The cops have got some ego problems.
Sad.
At least, I don't know if one of them officers, the older guys, if one of them was a supervisor or not. All it took is one of them to supervise and watch the other two and say, "Hey guys, but that one officer, if he's not fired, if he's not charged criminally with assault,
The one that's right behind your head is
4th degree assault."
the one that
thank you,
punched.
babe.
That little dude right there is the one
Right
that
there.
punched him 6 times.
Oh yeah, yeah, he had to punch him. Guys,
Sad. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
This guy needs to be relieved of duties. Hope y'all stay warm. It's a whopping 7 degrees here today.
Oh, you turned into the weather forecaster now?
Now I'm doing the weather.
Now for the weather. Sheila, you're up.
It's very cold. Please like, subscribe, and share. Stay warm.
Guys, also go over to Fred McCoy
Please.
40 and subscribe. I ain't got but a few subscribers, but I'm gonna have some interesting material on that page. Sheila Sheila on her channel, she has other things. This one here, where he had dementia, where it dealt with people's elderly.
Handcuffed. Yeah, that's just.
She there's certain ones that she just didn't want all police like I'm going to have on my channel. I'm going to have a. We've got to do something here in Kentucky, here in America. We've got to do something. These people, we serve you guys. They serve us. Now they serve me because I'm retired. But
Yeah.
it's protect and serve. It's not the Gestapo. It's not Nazi Germany. It's not us against them or them against us. We have got to start doing better. We got to have community policing. I know they teach that in the academy. All through 40-year career, they teach that. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. Guys, something's not right. Our supervision, our police chiefs, our state police commissioners, the people that's in charge of these officers are not standing. Look at Whitesburg. Look at Letcher County. That's the sheriff, the high sheriff in Kentucky, he's called, that goes into the chambers and offs the judge. And do you think that was something that just happened, or is that something, a mentality there that one of his deputies was RN female prisoners in the judge's chambers? What kind of conduct is that? They don't just, if you've got a good supervisor, if you've got a good leader, you'll try to please that leader and you'll be afraid to do anything that's out of line.
That's it, exactly.
That's my take on it.
That's it, exactly. They gotta have stricter rules for this. They're giving them too much free reign. And what is that saying? You take an inch, give them an inch and take a mile.
Well, they're not putting themselves in this position. Again, it's us against them. It's uniform. And that's not the way it should be.
No.
We should be there to help. You should be there to help the citizens. You should be a team. It shouldn't be all about the tickets, all about the arrest, all about trying to see who can get the most seatbelt tickets for and win a camera, all about who can make the most DUI arrests. Not that they're not important, but we don't have to give trophies for it. We don't have to give the governor's award for who got the most on the department, because now you've got competition. And when you got competition, you've got cheating. Would this person normally take this person to jail for DUI, but he's only one behind getting that award? Okay, he might not blow but a 3, but he has been drinking, and I need that arrest. Yep, you're under arrest.
Gotta meet a quota.
Got to meet it. It's wrong, guys. We got to stand up. We got to start standing up. We got to hold these supervisors. Police chief in Danville, Kentucky, Danville Police Department, prosecutor, Boyle County Attorney's Office. You got to stand up, guys. You got to stand up and do the right thing.
Please.
Please. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.